Welcome to 18.2. 18.2, we're going to continue talking about sound. And when we were talking about sound, we were previously just talking about how loud it is. And remember when we were talking about the loudness of sound, it's measured in decibels. Now we're going to talk about frequency and pitch. We have talked about frequency of waves before. That's essentially how rapid or slow a wave is moving or going up and down in a particular amount of time. However, the humans, you perceive that as pitch. So it's either a high pitch or a low pitch. And that is kind of how you perceive frequency. In fact, a high pitch, the waves are really, it's a high frequency and the waves are moving very fast. Where a low pitch, the waves are moving slow. So that's kind of the idea behind it, is high frequency sounds have a high pitch, low frequency sounds have a low pitch. Now also, pitch will depend on your age. Your ears are always aging, and in fact your ears are always getting damage to them, believe it or not. Whether you're 5 or 50 or 100, you're going to perceive sounds with different pitch. And in fact, depending on the health of your ears, you lose the range of frequency that you can hear. So younger people typically can hear a wider frequency, and as you age, that range of frequency that you can hear lessens. That's kind of similar to a dog whistle or those really stupid apps you guys like to put on your phones that make that pitch. There are pitches that only teenagers can hear or young adults, whereas your parents or grandparents can't hear that sound. And it's not because that sound's not being made, it's simply because their ears over time cannot hear that range of frequency anymore. So here's just some frequencies of things that we hear all the time. Not a big deal there. Now, how does the human ear work? Most people can hear between 20 and 20,000 hertz. Now, what I mentioned is typically you lose those higher frequencies the older you get. So your parents or grandparents might only hear from like 20 to 16,000 hertz instead of 20,000 hertz. Anything outside that 20 to 20,000 range, humans cannot hear it. And that's kind of where ultrasound or infrasound come in. So we're either below the limit or above the limit. That's how a dog whistle works. Different animals can hear different frequencies as well. A dog whistle is about 60,000 hertz. Humans can't hear dog whistles. Only dogs. Dogs have the capability to perceive frequencies that high. So that's kind of how it works. So if we talk about how do we apply frequencies outside of a high pitch and a low pitch, we have sonar and ultrasound imaging. Now we've talked about this in class before. With sonar imaging, we send a ping to the bottom of the ocean to measure how deep the ocean is, and the ping comes back. Then we can calculate how long a time it took for the ping to come back. And when we do that, we can approximate the distance at the ground or the ocean level, or how deep the ocean is. So something like this, we send a little ping, it hits the ocean, it comes on back, and we have an idea of how deep the ocean is in each particular spot. Another way in which we can use frequency and sounds is ultrasound. All right, many of you have probably had an ultrasound. Actually, you've all had ultrasounds in your life. It was probably when you were in the womb. Ultrasounds also can be used outside of just for detecting for babies. They can be used for detecting kidney stones, gallbladders, stones, other issues with organs and bones. So, but ultrasound works on the same way. We send little mini sound pulses and they go through the flesh at a particular rate, and you can see into the body without actually cutting into the body. A wonderful piece of technology. So, when we talk about frequency, you have a frequency is heard by humans, and we call that pitch. So if it's a high frequency, it's a high pitch. And if it's a low frequency, it's a low pitch. And then frequency of sound can be used in a variety of ways, such as sonar and ultrasound imaging. So this concludes section 18.2. This is Mr. Clennert, and I'm signing off.